Hi, my name is Beth and I'm the sewing pattern designer and blogger at Sew DIY. In today's video, I'm going to do a little review of this cutting table. I bought this table a couple months ago, and when I posted a photo of it last week on Instagram, I got a lot of questions about it. So I thought, why not make a video and show it to you in action? So this is a cutting table by Sew Ready Studio Designs, and I bought it on Amazon for about $140. It usually is priced at $204, and it's currently priced at $166. So seems like it probably varies a little bit. I think around $150 is pretty fair for this table. So I have actually been cutting on the floor for years and years. In my old house, I had a dining table because I had enough space for a dining room and a dining table, and I would cut on the dining table sometimes. But in my new house where I live now, I don't have a dining room, so I just been cutting on the floor. And cutting on the floor is okay because you can spread out, but it kind of started to hurt my back after a while. And once I decided that I wanted to carry fabric in my store, I decided that I needed to get like a real cutting table where I could stand up at my full height and I could spread out and things wouldn't get dirty and my back wouldn't hurt. So I went on Amazon and did a little searching. And the two things that were important to me were that the table could go up fairly high and that it would collapse down. So when it's in the collapse state, it's only 12¼ inches wide, which is pretty great. My sewing room is pretty small, so it was important to me that it could go down to a pretty small size. So the center part, this is 10¼ inches, and then there's a little bit more with the wings. Each of these two wings is 24 by 36 inches, and the width of the table is 36 inches. So it also has an adjustable height. It can go down to 30.25 inches and up to 39.25 inches. Right now I have it a couple notches lower than the highest point. So this works okay for me. I could probably even go a little bit higher. So after I ordered this on Amazon, it really came fairly quickly, but you should be aware that it's heavy. So they actually had 2 delivery people deliver it. And my sewing room is upstairs, so I unpacked it downstairs and then carried up the pieces bit by bit upstairs, and I was able to put it together mostly by myself. It was not too hard. Granted, I am pretty good at putting things together. Like I love getting an IKEA and putting some furniture together, so it wasn't too hard. There are a lot of screws to attach the table to the base. So I use my electric drill for that. So I would definitely recommend having an electric drill. So the only thing that was really challenging was turning it right side up. And that you really can't do very easily by yourself. So you want to make sure that you have a strong friend nearby who can help you turn it over. Lucky enough, my dad was driving by in the neighborhood when I needed it to be turned over, and he was able to come over and help me. And it really only took 2 minutes after I got him over and we turned it right side up. But otherwise, I was able to put it together all by myself. It is a heavy table, which is good for sturdiness, but not super easy to lift, which is why it's a little bit hard to change the height, is because it's so heavy. So kind of good, kind of bad, but it's not hard to move because there are casters and you are able to lock the casters. So speaking of the height adjustments, the one thing that I like the least about this table is that it is really challenging to change the height. There are a whole bunch of knobs. So let me see. You can see this. So on each side, there are 4 of these knobs, and then there are also those for the supports for the table extension. So altogether there are 12 of these knobs, and these are like a little bit hard to loosen. And then the table's pretty heavy, so after you loosen them, you'll have to lift it up, and it's challenging. It takes like a good 30 minutes to change the height. So that's the worst part. But if you find a height that you really like and you plan on staying there, then you don't have to worry about it. So one thing I really like about this is that there's a little bit of storage under here. So each side has these baskets that are pretty easy to pull out, and then you could also store some things on the bottom part. Let's look at how easy it is to lift up these wings. So you just lift this up and then pull this out, and then there's a little, okay. There's a little pin. All right, so there's a pin on the table that fits into this support leg. And it's the same on both sides. All right, so that's pretty easy to do, and then you have a really good sized table. So overall, I really like this table. I'm really glad that I got it. I find myself using it all the time, and I generally just keep the leaves up because then I can like have lots of fabric out. I can tile patterns together on the table. So overall, it's been really useful, and I'm really glad that I bought it. I will put links down below so that you can check this out on Amazon. I also have an Amazon affiliate store that you might find interesting. It has all my favorite sewing supplies and sewing books. And if you haven't already, I would be so honored if you hit the little subscribe button down below and then hit the bell so that you're notified every time I release a new video. Happy sewing!